On. Oh no, my guest left. It said guest left. Oh. All right, guest, special guest, friend catch up. He keeps saying guests left. Oh, there you are. You can see
It
the
was
top of
telling
the
me it was telling me, guest like, waiting for guest, and I'm like, "Well, I am the guest. Who are we waiting for?"
We're waiting for yourself. It's so good to see you.
"Hi." It's good
Hello.
to see you. Your hair's getting long?
It's I I normally get my hair cut the same time as the boys, and the place where we get our hair cut, it's just like one of those regular like thrift hair places. And
Oh,
it's near where the boys bowl. And so we'll go bowling and then go get our haircuts and leave. But it had to have been at least since before school that I would just get like past few times we went, I would just get the boys' haircut and leave just because we had so many things to do and so many
I
places to go.
um,
Yeah, so mom gets put to the wayside. I don't mind it. I like it long, but it is getting a little bit too long,
It
like in
looks
the morning.
nice.
Thank you. But in the
Oh,
morning, it takes
no,
forever to dry and everything, so
I think you should let it grow out. It's pretty.
thank you. I do wish I could get a trim at least. I might do that this weekend. We'll see. I mean, Thanksgiving weekend, I think, is going to be fairly slow, so not too many activities. Do you have any plans for Thanksgiving?
I mean, we usually go over to my friend's house, and she hosts for dinner, so it's my job to bring pie this year.
Oh, what kind of
I know.
pie are you going to
I
bring?
have
Pumpkin?
no idea. That's what I was like,
Oh.
and I meant to text her today, but got too busy, and I was like, "What do you think of eggs? Like deviled eggs and
Mm,
maybe my family dip?" Because I usually don't bring my own cooking or whatever,
yeah.
but I don't know, I didn't wanna just buy a pie and be like, "Here." I always, feels awkward, so but she does cook for, like, 50 people, and really there's only, like, you know she has a house full of men. She has 4 grown men in her house.
Oh
I
my
say that because her
gosh.
youngest is 16, but he's a grown man, like, he's
Yeah.
bigger than I am.
Yeah.
So and then usually her brother and, his girlfriend, and then Ian and I. So, I mean, it's a small family, but big portions for big men. So, but
Oh yeah, I have 2 teenage boys. I know boys can eat.
oh, her boys are big boys. So, I mean, they eat, yeah, and, of course, Ian eats a lot. He loves food, and I'm not a small girl, I love to eat,
I
and
love to
neither
eat
is
too.
she. We're both big girls, and we like to eat.
That's cool. So it sounds exciting. I see that
Yeah.
Darla girl said hi and Kenyatta said hi. Hi
Hi,
guys. I think you're
guys.
still on.
Sorry, I don't have my laptop set up, I can't the comments just come and go,
Yeah,
so I
well,
can't see them.
if you swipe your finger up, you can go back to the comments. Do
Yeah,
you see
nope, I'm
them?
not trying to mess with that, you'll lose me again. I pushed it up and it was like, "Go home screen."
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Well, it works for me. Like if I put my finger, you can't see my finger unless it's by the camera, but if I put my finger and swipe up, I can go back
there's a
to the
comment
comments.
thing, but like I said, I'm afraid to go to it, and, my luck with technology, I would just disappear again and then have to fight to get back in. Are you working on something?
Yeah, I'm just doing my wearable Wednesday shirt. I'm just playing with that because the yarn for it is so nice. That yarn that Deb gave me is
Yeah, the
so
alpaca.
nice. Yeah, it's the alpaca, and I just
I
love
I
the
really
feel of it.
liked the stripes.
Thanks. I started a new stripe, so here I'll hold it up so you can see. It's not a secret. It's not
Ooh,
like a secret project or anything, but I'm really excited about it. And I
I
think I'm
love it.
gonna do something about the sleeves. I'm not gonna just leave it like a vest. So We'll see, but it's getting longer. I mean, you can't see it, but it's not quite long enough yet, but it's getting there. So it's exciting. I love seeing it come together. I started looking for like a knit cardigan or something to do with the yarn that Joanne gave me, and I just haven't been able to find something that I liked. There's a couple of sweaters that I like in the books that you gave me, but they wouldn't. I don't think that they would be right with that roving yarn that
Mhm.
Joanne gave me. So I don't know. I don't know. I was thinking, well, maybe I'll just make something from the book to start with a different yarn and then come back to Joanne's. But, every time I look at the yarn that has been gifted to me, I feel like I want to make something with it. I don't want it to just be like something that sits
So
around.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. What are you working on? Like, maybe you're not working on one right this second, but like, what projects are you doing?
I'm doing a couple. So, I have one that I keep at work that's just I do on breaks that doesn't really matter, and it's a shawl.
Okay.
It's the I believe it's the Ceylon tea shawl from Hobie or Hobby,
Oh,
however you say that. Hey,
oh, your
Michelle!
twin is on.
My twin, yes.
Your twin is on.
Um, and then I'm doing it in a blue, like blue ombre-ish
Ooh,
sparkle
pretty.
yarn.
Oh my gosh, you'll have to show that. I wanna see
And
it.
then I'm working on a Secret Santa project that I
Okay.
obviously can't share.
Yeah.
But that's pretty glorious. I'm trying to bust that out because it's very time sensitive
Mhm.
and it has to be sent across the country as well. So I'm really, really, really trying to get it finished.
You're
I
on a
can
crunch with
sneakily
that
say
one.
it has 3 layers to it, and I am almost done with the bottom layer, which is the biggest section that has to be done. That
Okay.
is that is vague enough that you'll probably understand what I mean.
I think you already talked to me about it. As soon as you said
I
Secret
did.
Santa, then I
Yes.
remembered,
It's
but I'll
just
I'll
vague
be
enough that if
shush.
anyone's watching, no one will know. And then I'm excited to get that finished because I actually got a commission piece, but
Oh,
it's not from a neighbor or a coworker. It's like an actual commission piece
a real
from a
one.
stranger, and I'm like excited
Woo!
about it. Um,
Wow.
so yeah, I bought the yarn this weekend. He sent me a deposit. It's a surprise for his wife.
Oh,
Um, it's
how
gonna
did
be a
he know
blanket.
about you? Like, what from YouTube, from Ravelry, from
No, that's the surprising part. I went to get my dog Butters groomed. Went to get Bubby groomed, and he was a new guy working the desk or whatever, and he was asking me how my day went because I was waiting for my groomer to show up so I could explain some things to him. And he was just chit-chatting with me, and I was like, "Oh, well, I got some crochet time in to waste," and he was like, "Oh, you crochet?" And I was like,
Okay.
"Yeah," and he's like, "That's with the 2 needles, right?" And I was like, "No, that's knitting," which everyone confuses, but I don't
Yeah,
mind,
if you
a
don't do
craft
the I
is a
know,
craft.
most people who
Yeah,
don't do the craft don't know the difference.
but I was like showed him some of my work and that I haven't even shown you guys. I
Ooh,
really need to share that. I know I'm bad, huh? I've been gone for a long time. But, I showed him some of that and he was, like, really interested and was like, "Oh, I want possibly a shawl or something for my wife."
oh.
And I was like, "Okay," and then as I was leaving, he was like, "Maybe a blanket." And he didn't even know what he wanted, he didn't know what colors he wanted, nothing. So, then I text him and I was like, "So do you were you still interested?" And he was like, "Absolutely." And I was like, "Shawl or a blanket?" And he's like, "Blanket." And I was like, "Okay, do you know what you want?" And he was like, "No clue." He's like, "I do not know anything about yarn or anything like that." He's like, "I don't even know." And before he had told me he wanted like a blue ombre and a pink ombre shawl. And so I had researched, what yarns I could get to go with that or what. And
Yeah.
then he went with something completely different. So he wants like a cream tan color and now a blanket.
Oh,
And so and I sent him blanket ideas and then he picked one and I'm really excited to start it.
Oh my
It's a
gosh.
Bonnie Bay or Bonnie Barker pattern, Your Inspirations pattern, but it's by her and she does the tutorial on it and stuff.
Oh,
And I've always
nice.
wanted to try some of her stuff, but when I was picking the blankets and stuff, I didn't look at who they were by. I just thought, that's a cool one. Let me send that. Like just by what the picture was. And then when I clicked into it and researched it more, I was like, oh, well, this is going to be cool because this is a creator that I've wanted to try before. So I'm pretty excited to get that started. And it's different.
That's
So
awesome.
it's also got stitches that I have never tried before. So it has the woven
Oh,
stitch. Have you ever done that?
is that, like, is it anything like the basket stitch or no?
No,
Okay, I don't think I have that, and it doesn't sound familiar. I'm gonna
it's,
switch my glasses because I can't see.
I watched a tutorial on it and it's kind of a base of like crochets and then you skip one and it's really hard to explain, but you skip a stitch, go into the next one, and then instead of doing like a double crochet, you pull through the first loop. It's
Oh,
almost like a slip stitch crochet. So you pull through one loop, go
okay.
back in, so then you have three loops on your hook and then pull through all three.
Huh.
And then you skip and do it again. And so you do that across. And then when you go into the next round, you do it in the spaces. It looks really pretty, kind of like a chunky lace work almost.
Oh.
And I'm
I hope
interested
you
in
show
filming
it.
it.
I hope you show it when you do it. I hope you
Well,
show it.
I'm being pretty bad about even filming anything at all. So, but
Even your
I have a
secrets,
lot.
even your secret Santa, I'd love if you filmed it and then posted the video after they received it. You know what I mean? Like, I know you can't film it and post it right away, but I'd love to see how it turned out.
I ha- I will try. I
At
have
least take
stuff.
a at least take a picture and send it to me.
Okay, okay. I have like a bunch of stuff I wanted to share with everybody, but I just haven't filmed anything. I haven't wanted to get in front of the camera really. I think I'm breaking my streak,
Yes, for
Michelle.
sure. I just saw what she said. Yes. Come on, we have to gang up on her and get her to do
But
it.
that deer blanket that I told you about,
Oh, yeah.
that's finished. It looks really good.
Do you wanna
It was a
show that
gift from
here?
my uncle.
Or did you
Already gave it to
you
my
already
uncle.
gave it to him?
Yeah,
Okay.
but that one was finished, and then I finished a fish one. Both blankets, both cabled rounds of borders, and basically like cabled granny squares that on the four corners, and then in the middle it's like a graph gown basically. So one has a fish and one has a deer with antlers and everything. And then
Oh,
I
cool.
started another one for my aunt and didn't finish it while I was there, but it's almost done. I just have to decide what I'm going to do with the border. And that one is gnomes on the bottom half, three little
Oh,
gnomes
cute.
holding hearts with all different hats.
Oh,
And then
cute.
I wrote
Hi,
my own
Samantha.
pattern for the top half of it. I worked with Crystal, Hook That Yarn, Crystal,
Okay.
to create a yarn and kind of Jess from J Hook Magic behind the scenes without her even knowing she helped me, but she
Oh,
uses stitch fiddle. And so
okay.
she had let Crystal know that she uses stitch fiddle, and then Crystal and I tried to figure it out, and it was a whole thing. Anyway, I figured out the pattern for it in 3 days, and then I just couldn't finish it because it's bobble work. And so
Yeah.
the top of it says, I heart you no matter what.
Oh.
And so I have finished all of the bobble work and all of the gnomes and
Oh, that
sewn
is
in all
so
the
much
ends.
work because I
Um,
mean, you've seen my alphabet blanket. That was so much work. All those
yeah,
bobbles.
so I did all of that. It's done, but because I made my own pattern and this is the first time making any type of bobble work or anything like that, I didn't realize how long that would be, how many rows that would add on lengthwise. So
Um,
now it's obscenely long, and I wanna make it a little bit wider so that it matches a little bit better. So I have to figure out what kind of border I'm gonna put on the side, to make it a little bit wider, to make it more even. But, I
Okay.
mean, it was my first attempt at a pattern, my first attempt at baubles, like, in a written pattern that I wrote
Yeah,
myself.
that's
So,
awesome.
learning
Aw,
experience, I guess,
you
learning as you
definitely
go,
yeah, oh, yeah. I mean, I think
but
a lot of it really
I
is, like go
showed my
ahead.
aunt while I was there, and she fell in love with it. She was bragging to my uncle that, "Well, mine's better than yours."
Ah.
My uncle is a very humble man, and he loved his blanket. I
Oh,
had gone away for a little bit, like, outside, and then I came back in, and he was already sitting it with it in his lap,
aw,
and it just really touched me that it meant so much to him, and while I
yeah,
was there, he shared, his grandma, so my great-great-grandma that I
okay,
obviously never met because he's my great uncle,
okay.
um, used to do tatting, I guess,
Oh,
and he shared with me some, like, really, really, really old tablecloths of, like,
aw,
I mean, some really extensive tat work that is just
wow.
beautiful, and I can't imagine how long that something a piece
Yeah,
like that would have taken. Like, they're
wow,
beautiful, and they're, like, huge. I mean,
wow.
I didn't even unfold it, they're that big. Like, I
Oh,
just looked at
no.
it up close, and I was like, I could see every little tiny stitch that went into it if I wanted to write a pattern to do it, like, to recreate it, but, like,
Yeah.
wow, it was gorgeous, and so I was like, "Hmm, so crochet actually might run in my
I never
family."
thought yeah, it's in your
And that was
genes.
interesting to learn.
Yeah,
So, I
that is
mean,
so cool.
great-grandma and great-great-grandma both tatted and did,
Cool.
like, small crochet work. 'Cause, I mean,
Wow.
tatting is crochet work, it's just with, like, thread,
Yeah.
but
Wow. That is so cool, and it's amazing if you look back at all, like, those little doilies and all those little teeny tiny like you're
yes.
talking about, how many women did that, and how long did it take them to do
I
it? I
mean,
mean,
the
I don't
hours and
know.
the time that would go into something like that, you know?
Yeah.
They must
Yeah.
have a lot of free time, because I do not have that kind of time.
No,
The
no, I
times
guess
have changed.
yeah, I guess if you don't have a job and, you don't
Yeah.
have t I don't know if TV has anything to do with it, but,
I
electronics
mean,
for sure, if you're not scrolling on your phone and all that stuff.
well, I guess back then too, traditionally, women did not work and they stayed at
Yeah,
home and ran the household, so they
yeah,
had a lot of free time on their hands
yeah,
if they didn't have kids or whatever.
right, right.
So, I can imagine it was
Yeah,
a much more I don't know, it was a different time,
different
you
time,
know? Yeah.
different
I couldn't
things going
imagine
on.
doing it dedicating myself to a piece like that nowadays. That would take me
No,
years.
no, I don't know that I wanna do something that intricate, you know?
Expensive, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
it was really pretty to look at, but I
yes,
I have so
yes.
many other projects that I want to do, and I have startitis and have so many whips that I wanna finish that, I just something
Too
that
it's too
intricate is
easy
the
to
right word
do.
for it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I could see
yeah,
enjoying something like that though, because I am enjoying working with thinner yarns, like one weights for,
yeah,
like, shawls and stuff, and I'm finding that shawls and blankets are just my niche of what I really enjoy doing,
yeah,
and for shawls, I really enjoy the one weights with color
yeah.
changing yarn, any kind of color, it doesn't
I think they
matter, but
look better with the thinner yarn personally too, you know? I really do. I think otherwise they're too cumbersome.
I don't know, I mean, it takes a long time, just like
It's
with tatting because you're basically
Yeah, no,
doing
I'm
all
just
that
talking
intricate
about the
work.
look, not the time.
Yeah, but it I don't know, I've been taking patterns that aren't written for one weights and doing them as a one weight.
Oh, Darla, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
feel better,
Yeah, I
Darla.
hope you feel better. Thank you for popping in. It was nice that you came by, and we haven't had a lot of chat with everybody else. Feel free to like pipe in, if you have something to say. This is like just a catch up, friends catch up with everybody who's here. We're going to keep the conversation going until people start chiming in, and then we can, change it to whatever you guys want to talk about. So, I'm excited though. This is way off topic, but I got a review today on Etsy, and the person said they would buy from this artist again. So I was called an artist today. That just made me
Oh.
feel so excited.
Well, I mean, you are though. We
Yeah,
are
but
artists, it's our artwork.
it is. It is. It's just nice to see it in print unprovoked. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yes.
I didn't ask them to call me an artist, but it was nice to be called an artist.
I had a
So,
coworker call me that, and I was like,
oh,
"Oh, I'm not an artist." And they're like, "Well, you are though. That's your artwork. It's just a
yeah,
different format."
right, right. Because a lot of times, and I think especially when I was younger, I would associate art with being able to draw well.
Yeah,
And it's not. There's a lot of different mediums of art.
yeah,
It's
absolutely.
not all
And
about drawing.
now it's digital as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's, I think, where the jobs are too, if you're going to be in art.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
What are you guys at home working on?
Yes.
If
We're
anyone
only
is here,
down. It only looks like we only have one person in
one,
here now. Is it Michelle?
I don't know.
Is it your twin?
I must have bored everybody constant talking.
No, it's okay. This was what it was. It was.
Baba! He is very excitable right now. There's stuff going outside and it's dark, so he's gotta put his 2
It
cents
is
in.
Michelle. Okay.
She's working
Blankets.
on a blanket.
Woohoo.
Yep, it's me.
All right. Well, the three of us can chat. No big deal. I just thought it would be fun to catch up with everybody and see. The last few lives I've done had a topic, and I almost felt like a teacher on those, which is fine. But it's also nice to just have this relaxed chat and catch up. That kind of
Yeah,
thing. And I know it was like last minute too. Maybe if we had advertised for a week, more people would have showed up. But I just thought since you texted me earlier, and I was like, why don't we just do a live? I want to see you, and I want to, get you. Everybody said they missed you, so we have to get you back on here. Like,
yeah, here I
what was it
am.
yesterday? Yesterday when you popped on, everyone got all excited. They're like, Sarah's here.
I
So.
think just you and Crystal, really.
No, there were comments. I could go back and check. There were comments.
Yeah, I've had a couple other people check in and say, "Where have you been?" So, I'm trying to get back into it. I had a couple people tag me and stuff, so
Oh,
I want to make those videos and try and break through and start filming again. It's not that I don't have content, I just haven't wanted to be in front of the camera. So,
what can we do to give you the confidence or the push to do it?
well, I'm in front of the camera now, so, I
Yeah,
mean,
I know. I know.
spur
But
of the
with your
moment,
other
"Hey, do you
stuff.
wanna come live with me?" And I was like, "Do I? Well, twist my arm, say you miss me, I guess so." Yeah, Michelle hasn't been making very many
That's
videos either.
true. I haven't seen you for a while. Are you going to do things for Making Thursday this month, or are you taking a month off, Michelle?
I
I
think
know
she's
Sarah's too
taking
busy.
off too because she's like me, she doesn't enjoy amigurumi as much.
That's right. You guys
Um,
are twins. I'm the
yeah.
opposite because I really don't enjoy blankets or shawls. I'll make
But
them, but they're not my favorite things to make. Okay, no big deal. I was
yeah,
just
cookies as
curious,
well.
just being noted nosy. We're going
Did
to,
you see Michelle's last video, though? If I'm
which one?
correct, it was her last video was, a Happy Meal unboxing with
Yes, I saw it with the
the shawl
butterfly or
that
the
I made
dragonfly,
for
yeah.
her. Yeah, the
Oh, and that was
dragonfly shawl.
gorgeous. Yeah, I know, she was crying a lot in that.
I told her, I tried to warn her, and she was like, "No, I'm not gonna cry." And I was like, "You're gonna cry." She's like, "No, I don't think so. I'm tough." I'm like, "No, you're gonna cry. Trust me."
I enjoyed
So,
watching that. Sarah had been telling me about it and she showed it to me a little bit. I didn't see the whole thing finished, but she was showing me little bits of it here and there. So
well,
I was so excited to see you open it too. It wasn't just Sarah who was wanting to see that.
I had to get my confidence, you know?
Oops.
She has some stuff going on with her face, and she was waiting for it
Oh,
to heal.
face.
Yeah,
Okay. Part of the message is cut off. It said I have some stuff going on with my FA, and then it said
with her
waiting for.
face, she was
Oh,
waiting for it to heal before she films again, is what she said. I
okay.
caught it before it disappeared.
All right. Well, I hope your face is better. Is it what, an allergic reaction or?
I know, but I don't know if I'm allowed
Oh,
to say.
okay. If it's personal, no
I'll
worries.
let her answer.
Yeah. It's only the three of us, and then anybody who might watch this in the future. Oh, she's wearing it
Oh.
now. She's wearing the shawl now.
Oh.
Oh, it is beautiful. It is beautiful. Sarah just did a gorgeous job with that.
She had some precancer issues.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I actually had melanoma on my skin. You can see the scar from it right
Yeah,
there. So I know that feeling. Thankfully, it wasn't on my face. I had that big scar on my face, but I guess if it is, a scar is better than dying, you know?
yeah, that's very true.
Yeah,
So, you
runs in
talked
my
about my
family.
Thanksgiving. What is your Thanksgiving?
We are having my in-laws, my brother and sister-in-law, and my nephew who's grown. He's a teacher, he's married, and his wife, they're gonna come over. It's always a fun time. I really enjoy my in-laws. They're really, really good people. You know, I know a lot of people complain like, "Oh, my mother-in-law's a pain in the
Yeah.
neck," but she's not. She's wonderful. She's wonderful.
So
And
you're
my
hosting?
we're hosting here, yes. Yes, I'm really excited. I love it. The only thing is, like, our downstairs bathroom is all torn up. We had all these lofty
Christine.
plans. Oh, Christina's here. Yay. Welcome. I'm so glad you popped in. We're just talking about what we're doing for Thanksgiving. And I was about to just say, we probably more than a month ago, we ordered. Oh, here, let's see what Michelle says. I've been fighting it for a while. I'm done. I have to do chemo cream in a couple, and I hope it doesn't make my face get my. Okay, part of that's cut off, but I think I get the gist. I'm sorry that you have to go through that, Michelle. It's- I'm sorry. I hope that ultimately it's just able to be gone, you know, like they were able to get mine. It was right here. But I had to go. I still, and this was probably 5 years ago, I still have to go twice a year to get checked, you know, full body checks, just because it's the way it is. It's not the worst thing to go through. Yeah, it's true. But, you know, when you're going through something, I never found it helpful when people would say, well, someone else is going through something worse. You know, it doesn't matter, you're still going through something and it's still significant to you. It doesn't make it better to say somebody else has it worse. That kind of almost invalidates your feelings and what you are going through personally. It can still be a struggle even if it's not the worst thing ever. I'm not saying you should have a pity party for yourself, but let yourself feel what you need to feel and don't let somebody else make you feel bad because somebody else has it worse. So, I don't know.
Well, I'm
We're
glad Christine is here because Christine was one of the people that was checking up on me and wanted me to get back
aw.
in front of a camera. I'm here, Christine.
I forced her. I forced her.
Okay, so I have to ask, are you the cook or is Rich the cook?
Well, most of the time, yes, Michelle. Most of the time, if we have company over, Rich will cook because he likes to use our grill and he has a smoker now. So he likes to do
Ooh.
that. But if it's anything that's indoors, I'm the cook. So
Oh,
I'm
so you're
doing
cooking.
yeah, I'm doing turkey stuffing, cranberries. Like I do the fresh cranberry sauce. I don't do the canned stuff.
Ooh, that sounds good.
It's really good. I love it. And what was the other thing I was gonna do? Oh, just green beans. And then everybody else is bringing, like my mother-in-law, she makes the most delicious pies, so she's making pies.
So kind of
And
potluck style.
yeah, kind of. Yeah, my sister-in-law is bringing wine and rolls, and so we'll figure it out.
Are you
But
gonna do the turkey?
I'm doing the turkey. Yes, I have it in my refrigerator right now.
Ooh,
Getting it ready. I used to watch Did you ever watch, I don't know if it aired out in the West Coast, it was, something that was in New Jersey, it was called Cake Boss. Did you ever hear of that show?
I don't know if I
It was a bakery, um has he smoked a turkey before? He has not, but I don't know that he wants to go there with smoking the turkey. He does usually, like, ribs and brisket and any kind of pork. He does these things called burnt ends, which they're not burnt,
oh,
but
oh, I love burnt ends.
oh, yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah, he makes them really well too. Uh,
Man, seriously, it's that you guys have been on my dream, to go visit a friend list, but
oh, I
man,
would
you
love
might have
that.
skipped up a couple rows now because burnt ends, oh my gosh. See,
Oh,
Michelle's my
Michelle loves
twin.
them
I
too.
love burnt
Oh,
ends.
oh my gosh, she does them so well too. Oh, and I have Gary the giraffe over there waiting for you too,
Yes.
so.
So what about the Cake Boss? Christine says she's heard of it.
Oh, okay. Well, it's like a bakery in New Jersey, and the guy is just really like a Jersey guy, and he's a really good cake, and he's kind of a perfectionist. I don't think it still airs. This was a show that was on probably about like 10 or 15 years ago.
Hi,
Um
Ivy.
he did Oh, Ivy's on. Hi, Ivy. He did a spin-off where it was like where he was doing a cooking show, and he showed how to make like the perfect chicken and turkey to make it really, really moist. And so now I do mine like that all the time, and I get a lot of compliments like, "Oh, this is really good because it's not dry."
So I've had other
So,
people do turkeys that were super moist, and I've heard everyone has their own method. So tell me, what was his? Or like, how
okay.
do you do it?
Buddy, yes, his name was Buddy. Thank you. Christine has seen it. I
Yeah.
didn't know if that aired out in the West Coast. I didn't know if that was just an East Coast thing or not. Um, so this is what he does. He basically smothers the outside in butter, and then you just cut lemons, and you put the pieces of lemon on the inside and on the outside. Garlic, just fresh garlic, not the minced stuff, the stuff that's already minced, but just the garlic. You break it open and stick it inside the turkey. Um, Onions, same thing, and it just keeps everything really moist. And then he gets, um, I think it's sage. It's the fresh sprigs of sage. Hi, Paige.
Hi,
And
Paige.
he sticks it inside, but then puts it all over the outside too. And then you don't once the turkey is done, you take all of that out, but you can really taste the seasoning and you can really taste how moist it is, and it gives it like a really nice flavor, in my opinion. Yes, it was on TLC and Discovery. Okay. Discovery Family. I don't know if they ever air reruns of it, but he did the spinoff and it wasn't on for very long, um and then it just kind of died out because I think people were mostly interested in the cake. Because basically,
Yeah.
people would go in and say, I want a cake of the Eiffel Tower, and then he would create this big, huge cake, and you'd see all the disasters when he was trying to do it and how mad he'd get at everybody when they messed it up,
The
that kind of
drama of
stuff.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the drama of it. But all of the cakes were something super extravagant. It wasn't like, just a box sheet cake. Everything was an extravagant design that they showed. I'm sure he did box cakes and stuff, but they never showed anything like that. Everything they showed on there was like something crazy.
Well, that's not the method that I've seen people do before, so that's a new one to me. The most moist turkey I've ever had was one of my old foster mom's mom used to do a salt brine basically for like
Oh, okay.
a day and a half before she cooked it. And it
Wow.
was the most moist thing I've ever had in my life. It was so good.
Wow.
So good. I've never done it myself. I cook pretty moist turkeys, but I use the injectors and I
Okay.
inject sauce into it.
Yeah,
Either
that was another
baste
thing
it like
too,
the
was to
bastings or
baste it
like
along the way too.
buy things to inject it with.
Okay.
Um, but I mean, I'm not like the greatest cook or anything, so I
I
definitely
just
don't do my own cranberry sauce, and I can't remember the last time I had, like, homemade cranberry sauce. It's
well,
always
I'll
better
tell
than
you the
homemade.
trick. You buy the bag of fresh cranberries, and the directions to how to make them is on the bag.
Cheater! I won't tell, I won't tell.
Shh, shh.
I
And
miss
it's
what
not hard. You put a little bit of water in there and you boil them until they start to crackle and you add sugar, and that's about it because it jellies itself. It's really,
oh,
really easy to make the cranberries. So, I mean, I know
yeah, that's
it sounds impressive, but it's not impressive at all.
I'm sure it's delicious, though.
It
I mean,
is
you
good.
put you put
I
love
like
into that.
I like it much better that way than I do the canned stuff. I know there's a lot of people who are like, "Oh, I love the canned stuff." I'm just not a big
I
fan.
mean, the canned
So,
stuff is fine too, I'll eat both, but there's something about cooking it at home that makes it taste better, you know what I mean?
I think
Even if
so.
it's just a simple recipe.
Yes. No, I agree. I totally agree. So Michelle said she deep fries hers. We actually
That's
have
nice.
done that a couple times. We used to have a deep fryer and we did it a few times. It's pretty good. It is good that way. But
I've
I
never
think
had it.
it was a pain in the neck. So we ended up getting rid of the deep fryer because we didn't use it enough. We used it a couple times on a turkey and that was about it.
I've heard
Mm.
that it can go so wrong.
Yeah. Oh, I've heard that too. I've heard
I
that too.
my cousin has done one, before, but I've never had like, tasted it myself or had a deep fried turkey.
Paige
I'm
said the
sure
gravy is difficult. You know what? Nobody in my family likes gravy, so I've never made it.
I actually make a pretty good gravy.
Ah, there
I
you go.
use the
See,
base,
you're a
the
cook.
turkey yeah. Well, I mean, I just do that and flour. It's
Okay.
sometimes a little bit of cream or milk, but usually just flour and turkey basings and I don't know. I've been told I'm a good cook, but I don't I just make stuff up. Like, I don't, like, follow recipes or anything like that.
Yeah.
I
There's nothing
used
wrong
to
with that.
I used to have,
Your
like,
twin
you
is
know
also good at gravy. There you go. Something else that you guys have in common. She said, I'm great at making gravy.
yeah. I used to have a potlucks at work, and my boss was like she always used to tell me, "You're such a good cook, you have to give me the recipe." The twin effect, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Wonder Twin
and
powers activate.
I would tell her, "Oh, it's nothing special, like, you just boil it and you put the new" it was like a pasta salad that I had, like, made up, and she was like, "Oh, you lost me at boil the water." And I was like, "That's why you can't cook, because if you can't boil water, then you can't cook." She was like,
That's
"No,
so
seriously,
funny.
I burn a pot of boiled water," and I was like, "Well, there you go, that's your problem."
How do you do that other than just, like, boiling it and
No,
then forgetting about it and
I
walking
guess
away from it?
I guess some people just really can't cook, like, it's hard for them, you know? Um, Ian taught me how to make shirred eggs. Have you heard of shirred eggs?
Mm-mm.
Well,
What
they're
is it?
really yummy. You basically take a ramekin and you line it with, like, honey ham, and then you put a little bit of cheese, and then you crack an egg in there, or 2, depending on how big, and then you put some cream, and then you put the ham, like, kind of tuck it in, or some people leave it exposed so it kind of looks like a rose when it's finished,
Hmm.
and then you put more cheese on top, and then you bake it. And Ian taught me how to make them, and now he prefers that I make them because he says that I make them better than he does.
Oh, wow.
But Ian used to work at various restaurants, and so he knows some, like, behind the scenes cooking stuff that I didn't even know
Oh, wow.
was a thing. So, he is a great cook when he cooks.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So do you guys take turns cooking, or do you do all the cooking, or
We don't cook at home a lot.
Oh, okay.
If we
It's
do,
hard.
it's like, not home cooked meals, it's like toss it in the oven or
Yeah.
in the microwave.
I'm not
Um,
judging. Before Rich and I had kids, we were a mess with that, we didn't cook a lot because it's
it's
hard. It's really hard to cook just for 2.
well, not just that, but sometimes his schedule, I mean, there's nights where he doesn't get home until 8 o'clock at night, and I don't wanna cook something and then he's like, "Well, I don't know when I'll be home." Like,
Yeah.
he's a really hard worker, and so sometimes his schedule is very irregular, and it's hard when you don't know when your partner is coming home to I don't know.
Yep.
I say that as an
Yep.
excuse, I guess. And I don't wanna waste my crochet time cooking. Hello? So, we don't cook a lot, but, I would say he cooks more than I do, and then I just keep everything clean, or
Okay,
try
well,
to.
sounds like a fair trade-off.
Yeah, um, I cook more like, I usually cook breakfast in the mornings, like, on the weekends, um, and then he usually cooks dinners, but
Nice.
again, I think it's because I'm lazy and I like to sit and crochet at night.
I like to
So,
do that. I like to do that too, but
I don't I
I've
don't
got
like
too many
spending
people that
time.
need to eat in my house.
Yeah. Well, again, it's just us. So, I
Yeah.
mean, the dogs beg no matter what because they know who to beg, Ian, because that's who gives them treats. And
Yeah.
Chica is Papa's little princess and will beg him, and she, like, basically sits in his lap when he's eating dinner. So, they definitely know who to go to if they want a treat.
Aw,
They don't even beg me for food anymore because they know that they don't get it from
they
me.
don't
But then
That's funny.
if Ian ever makes us omelets on the weekends, each dog gets their own little mini omelet or, like, their own scrambled egg.
Okay.
Eggs is one thing that I'm okay giving the dogs because they're actually supposed to be really good for dogs, and they're supposed to be
Okay.
great for their coat as well, and they're good protein source, so
I didn't know that dogs could eat eggs. I didn't know.
eggs are one of the healthy options for a snack for dogs.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for people.
Yes. For people too.
Hi, it's Joseph.
Hi, Joseph. Um, yeah, I don't know. I used to cook a lot, but now I just don't. I know how. Like Ian's never really had home cooking. When we first got together, it was during COVID, like right before COVID hit, and you
Okay.
couldn't get a lot of stuff at the grocery store.
Oh,
I don't know if
yeah,
you
I
remember,
remember
but
when
you
they were,
go to
like,
the
out of
grocery store and there's
everything.
nothing. Like
Yeah,
a potato and a thing of cabbage.
yeah,
Cool, that's the entire store. Like
yeah, I remember that.
Um, but I used to cook a lot, and I guess I do know how to use what's in the house. Um, but over the years, I've just gotten lazy about cooking. I like to use when it gets colder and it's starting to get to that time, I like to make pot roast in my slow cooker.
That's what we had for, dinner.
That's really good. I make a mean pot roast.
Awesome.
And the other thing I like to make in my slow cooker is, beans, like bacon and beans. I get the fat, like, they're called bacon ends when I can find them anyway,
Okay.
and it's not like bacon, it's like chunks,
Mhm.
and that's really good, and then I soak my beans overnight, let the gases out, and I do a mix of, beans, and
Mm.
then put them in the slow cooker. Lots of salt, not lots of, because the bacon is pretty salty, but a little bit of salt. And then sometimes a little hint of some spice in there, maybe a jalapeno or something.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm, mm, mm.
Am I making you hungry now?
No, yeah.
Well, I mean, you just ate. I haven't even
I
eaten
just
yet.
ate. Oh, boy.
Time difference. Maybe that's
Yeah.
why I'm like, "Food?"
Well, let me know when you need to go, you know?
Well, I didn't wanna stay on too long, because I 1, know you have to get up super early, and 2, like I said, we haven't had dinner or anything like that, so I just came straight home from work and hopped on.
I know it was a last minute thing. Thanks for doing it. It was nice. It's nice to catch up with you, you know. It's nice to chat with you for a little bit and,
Yeah.
see what's going on. So, uh,
Yeah, I feel like the holidays, the time just goes, you know?
it really
And
does.
I feel like it's gonna be New Year's before you know it, but not that I'm trying to rush it, but I feel like everything is so rushed during holidays because you have so much going on, and
Yeah.
I'm really starting to feel that pressure of, "Oh my gosh, it's the holidays and I gotta rush, rush, rush."
Yeah.
And I mean, also my birthday coming up, makes it just, it's another year, man. Getting older. But and then Christmas, and then, I mean, it's just back to back to back holidays, I feel like, where did November go? Already, Thanksgiving is next week, like, anyway.
Yeah. No, I feel that every year. Like, I feel like between Halloween and Christmas just flies. But then
Yeah.
it's like after New Year's, it almost feels like it's at a standstill here. So glad, yes. And I think it's like there's no breaks coming up, and I don't know how cold it gets where you are, but it gets bitter in January and February here. And it's just like I don't want to leave the house. It's dark all the time, you know. It's
Yeah.
already like starting to get dark by 5 here, and I hate that.
Here, it gets dark just as early. At, like, 5 o'clock,
Okay.
it's already dark. But we get pretty lucky with the cold front because it's Southern California, so,
Yeah, that's why I
um,
wondered, like, if you get any kind of bitter weather like that, but
not like
uh,
you do, for sure. I mean, the coldest we get here is, like, in the 40s. It's
okay,
generally, like, in the high 50s, and we're like,
okay.
"That's cold." because you adjust, you adapt to I'm from Oregon where it's always cold in the winter, and it's wet and,
So you know that feeling though,
I
like where
yeah,
it's
and I've lived
dark
in
and
states. I've lived in numerous states, and, like, when I lived in Amarillo, Texas, it would snow every year up to my knees,
okay.
and, I mean, there was ugly storms too, like, there was a storm one year where I and, like, 20 other coworkers were stuck at work because the blizzard was so bad, no one could leave,
Mm,
um, and I actually ended up going home and staying with a coworker for 2 days because no one could take me to my house because I kind of lived out in the country and the roads weren't being plowed. It was a
okay.
mess. So I definitely know snow and
Yeah.
how to drive in it. A lot of people don't.
No, a lot of
Um,
people don't. Even the people who live in it don't.
yeah.
But, I almost feel like between January and April is like living in black and white. You know what I mean? Because it's just dark and gray and cold. It's almost like those are the 3 months where I just really wanna stay home. I don't feel like going anywhere or doing anything, and it's a drag to push myself to get to work because I don't wanna put on my winter coat and go out there, you know? So,
Yeah,
I
I don't
don't
have
know.
that problem. Last year for Christmas, I think I posted on Facebook that, well, the rest of the world is in a frozen state, it's 92 here,
Oh my gosh.
and
We've had
I saw
some
barbecue
Christmases that
outside.
were like that weren't bitter, but I don't think we've ever had 92 in
I'm
Christmas.
pretty sure it was Christmas Day that I posted that. It was like 92 and people were barbecuing, and I was like, so for me coming from Oregon, every year down here, I'm like, "This is not Christmas. This feels weird. It's
Yeah,
sunny
I
outside
often
and
think
it's
about
hot,
that.
like, I don't know what's going on. It
Yeah,
doesn't feel
places that
natural."
are warm, I can't imagine Christmas time in those places, you
I
know?
mean, I guess if you grow up here, it's different, but, like, I'm from
Yeah,
Oregon where it's usually, dark and cold and kind of
yeah,
dreary, and down here, it's not the case at all. It's hard to
yeah. Sounds like you may need a little sun therapy. I'm
Yeah,
already
she just
dreading it
needs
and
to
we're
come
not
visit
there
me.
yet.
You
Yeah,
need to
I
come
have to
visit
be
me.
careful about the
Yeah.
sun therapy though because I've had skin cancer, so
Lots of
it's
sunblock.
yes, yes, sun therapy with
I'll
lots of
crochet
sunblock.
you a parasol, and you can come and visit.
Oh, thank you.
I've always wanted to try one of those parasols. I know Michelle has too, like the ones that Crystal at Bag O' Day shows.
Oh,
Gosh,
okay.
they're pretty. They're so pretty.
I
And
don't know
I
what I
saw
would do
one.
with it, you know?
I'm into skulls, like, I love skulls, and I don't know if you've seen, like, the Lost Skulls or the Lost Souls shawl or, um,
Mm-mm.
there's another word for it, I don't remember. They call it something else when it's rectangle, but it's still a shawl. A shawl. Shoal,
Okay.
I think is what they call it. Anyway, they have that, but in a parasol version.
Oh
So it's
gosh.
like skulls that goes around it, and I was like, "I wanna try that." I bet I could. I mean, I'm into the thinner
Yeah,
weights
why
now.
not?
Yeah.
Why not? I don't know what I would do with it, but if
I
I
don't
if I
know,
made
but
it.
it'd be cool to try.
Yeah.
I don't even know where you would get the, like, umbrella,
Yeah.
like,
I wonder
the
if
structure, the umbrella
yeah.
bones. I don't know where you would get that.
You could probably get them on Amazon, right?
Yeah, you can
I
get
think they
anything on
have lights,
Amazon.
lamps for the home, but don't know for sure. Yeah, that might be something to look into. I do feel like so crummy usually during January through April, I don't know, just tired and not wanting to go out in the cold. Maybe something like that would be good. I'll have to look into it and see.
My friend had one because she would get seasonal depression, so she had, like, a therapy lamp that she would sit
Okay.
in front of. She said it helped.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I should look into that. I don't know that it's necessarily depression, but it's just like that
No, it
blah.
doesn't really have to be depression, just
Yeah,
it makes you feel good chemically,
yeah,
produces something in your body, the effect of just being in the sun, even if it's artificial.
yeah. Crystal said she had to disassemble an umbrella. Hmm.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm not gonna be doing that.
Was it because she didn't have anywhere to put it, or it broke, or what happened with that?
I think she means she had to so that she could have the umbrella skeleton to be able
Oh,
to
I
crochet
see.
over.
That's how she got the skeleton.
Yeah,
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to mess around with that.
I don't know. Make sure
Yeah.
you take vitamin D.
Yeah. I actually already do that calcium with vitamin D to crochet.
Yeah, to crochet the
Yes,
umbrella
I
or the
see.
parasol, yeah. It seems like it would be a challenge that I'd like to try someday, kind of
I
like a
would love
wearable.
you have to show it if you do. Would it be fun to
Oh
make a
my
tiny
gosh.
one for amigurumi out of those cocktail umbrellas? Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I would
You
be
could
on
do it with
board for
thread.
that. Yeah, I
You
would
could
be
do
on
it with
board for
thread.
that. And
Yeah.
it's not that I don't think those bigger ones are cool, it's just that I really don't know where I would put it or what I would do with it. I feel like I'd make it and then it would probably just sit in my closet for the rest of my life, you know?
Believe it or not, I've seen people down here in Southern Cali actually using them.
Huh,
Yeah, at the beaches and stuff. Actually, I've seen several people just walking down the street with them, carrying them,
huh.
just as a sunblock, like,
Are you near a beach?
several.
Oh, lucky,
Yeah. I
lucky.
mean, not, like, super duper close, but within, like, 45 minutes, yeah. Probably the biggest one that we're close to is Santa Monica.
Yeah, Christine said it too. If you make it, show it. I agree.
Yes, Christine, they're already getting on me about showing some of my other work
She has
because
a
I
bunch of
haven't shown
stuff that she
anything.
needs to show, so we need to keep reminding her. Get on here and show all of your beautiful stuff.
Yes.
People miss you anyway.
Christine was the person I mentioned earlier that had tagged me in something as a kind of gentle push or gentle nudge to come back to YouTube and start filming for you guys. She's checked in on me a couple times, and
That's
she's
really
very sweet
nice.
to me.
That's very nice.
Yeah, this is my hopefully intro to keep getting in front of the camera, and I will try and get some stuff out. I've been thinking about that tag too, by the way, and it's coming out,
Oh,
Christine, so be warned. I am I'm gonna do that tag. I just had to think on what would I? And then I've come up with an answer. It's taken me a minute, but I have a good answer, and now I'm thinking about who I want to tag. So yes, I am going to film that. That being said, yeah, I think I do wanna get off and eat some food and have some
Okay.
family and crochet time, but it was really, really nice of you to twist my arm and make me come on with you and catch up with everybody.
I'm glad you did. I'm probably gonna stay on for a few more minutes, maybe like another 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'll head off too. So if anybody wants to stay on and keep chatting for a little bit, you know. Thank you, Sarah. It's so good to see your
Yeah,
face and
thanks for
talk to
having me
you.
on with you. It was nice. I'll catch up with you later.
Sounds good. Enjoy your dinner.
Yeah. Bye,
After you
everyone.
got
Bye,
everybody.
Christine.
See ya. Bye. Yeah, I'm glad too, Christine. Woohoo. Oh, it got quiet all of a sudden. You guys will have to speak up a little bit more here. So we were just talking about Thanksgiving. Do you guys have Thanksgiving plans? We're having people over, but our bathroom, we have a powder room downstairs. We had planned on renovating it over a month ago, and we ordered in a new sink. And when it came, the sink top was cracked. And so we contacted them, and they're like, "We'll send you another one." And it's been like 5 weeks, and they keep pushing it off. And my husband thinks that they probably aren't making that sink top anymore. So it's having trouble. They're having trouble finding one for us, but it put on hold what we were going to do because we were going to take the sink out and the toilet out and put up beadboard and then paint above that and paint the ceiling. We already painted the ceiling, but we're kind of we don't want to put the beadboard in uh without. I don't know, we have to take care of the sink first, so we can get everything out. And so the room is really torn up. The toilet and the sink are there, the most important part, so people can still use the bathroom, but it's just such a mess in there, and I feel badly, that we had that, but that's life, and I know that my in-laws and the people coming over won't care. So, oh, Paige, your daughter's hosting. That's nice. And Michelle said the kids will all be over. Sweet. Do you have kids that are out of college, Michelle? Um, I don't remember the ages of your kids. And then Paige, oh, that's nice. Does your daughter live close, Paige, or are you going to be traveling to go to her house? That must be cool to go over there. Our school district gives a whole week off at Thanksgiving. How about your district? Um, we have a half day on Tuesday, not tomorrow, but next Tuesday. Then we have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Monday off. So not quite a full week, but it's still a nice little break. I'm looking forward to it. 30 minutes, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Could be worse. So is anybody else crocheting while watching? I'm working on my wearable Wednesday. I showed it to Sarah earlier. I didn't know if anybody was. My kids are 27, 23, and 18, and my two youngest have birthdays next 6 weeks. So soon to be 27, 24, and 19. Okay. It's a little bit of a spread there. So here's where I am on the sweater. Starting to show. So that's what I've been working on. Oh, Christine's working on Christmas cards. I know you love cards. I noticed that people, and it's so no weather to worry about. Is that Southern California? SoCal? Nice. Oh, thank you, Christine. I feel like I'm starting to get the knack of wearables. It was a lot of practicing for me and a lot of advice from people watching my videos. I'm really glad that I did it. It's one of those things where you put yourself out there and hope for the best. And that's kind of what happened. I put myself out there, people were helpful, and just learning, practicing things. But this template is also really, really good. Crystal at Hook That Yarn is the one who designed it, and it's just, going by your measurements, so it doesn't even matter what size you wear. It's not a top where you are working towards a specific size. It's going by the measurements. Okay, Southern California. Nice. Nice. It definitely gets cold here. We have had winter, or we have had Christmases where it can get up into the 50s, but I have fertility issues and it was a fight. One of them, my youngest, was a blessing. Thought I was done. I need to pull this up. Like, Sarah was helping me last time, but for some reason the comments are getting cut in half. Like, I can only see the first half of the sentence. So let me see if I can pull up the live here on my other device so I can read the comments. Oh, here we go. I can read it now. I have fertility issues, and was a fight for each one of them. My youngest was a blessing. I thought I was done. Well, I'm sorry to hear. I know it can be a struggle. We count our blessings with each one. At least that's the way I feel. I was older when I started having kids. I didn't meet Rich until I was in my 30s. We got married when I was 31 and he was 34. And we didn't start having kids right away. So uh, we had had two miscarriages, and then I got pregnant with Roman, and Roman came to us. And then there was a miscarriage between Roman and Odin, and then Odin, and I was 37 when Odin was born, and after him, I was like, okay, we're done. We had wanted to have more kids, but that kind of thing is really out of your hands. So I didn't feel like I could fully enjoy the pregnancies like other ladies do because I always had that worry, is something going to happen? Is something going to go wrong? Because I had had it go wrong 3 times. So I'm finished crocheting Christmas gifts, so now I'm making baby gifts for my next grandbaby due in February. Oh, each are for sure a blessing. Well, congratulations, Paige. Do you know if it's a boy or a girl, or are you having to crochet like neutral things? That is definitely exciting. I've had 3 miscarriages as well. It's not easy. No, it's definitely not. We didn't have, thankfully, like for us, we didn't have any issues getting pregnant. In fact, like after the second miscarriage, before I had had any live births, the doctor said, "Why don't you take a little bit of a break?" Because it was really hard on us emotionally, because both of us really wanted to be parents. And so he put me on the pill, so I wouldn't get pregnant. Aw, girl, that's exciting. Uh, and I got pregnant with Roman while I was on the pill. That was really a shock. We were very, very shocked about that. But it worked out, he's here. February. Yay, you have something really it's coming up pretty quick here. February will be here before you know it. You have the new grandbaby. What did you your next grandbaby. So, does that mean that you have other grandbabies? I think I have a while before grandbabies. Mine are just 13 and 15. At least hopefully I have a while. Everybody got quiet all of a sudden. Christine, how many grandchildren do you have if you're still on? I know you talked about a grandson once. I'll put people on the spot. Oh, everybody's quiet here. Well, maybe Paige says, I have one other, a girl and her baby sister we're expecting. Aw. So two girls? Well, there'll be two girls. I just have the one grandson. He's 3.5. Aw, 3.5 is so cute. All right. Well, I think I am gonna probably granddaughter's almost 4. Oh, so cute. So cute. I think I am going to probably end the live here just because my time it's after 9 and I have to get up at 5:30. That comes quick. So I've been trying to be in bed at 9:30, so we'll see. Hopefully I get grandbaby someday. Oh, I hope so too, Michelle. With 3 kids, I think you have a pretty good chance that at least one of them will have some, right? Well, we'll have to hopefully we'll all still be friends. Yeah, I'm glad you caught it too, Christine. Thanks for popping in. And thank you everybody for hanging out tonight. I hope you have a great night. I'll be on again Wednesday for Wearable Wednesday. See you later. Bye.